The business desk at the SAWA, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, is beefing up efforts to tackle digital fraud. The FSCA has noted the current rise in online-related crime as digital financial services become more popular. Advancements in artificial intelligence have also been flagged as an exacerbator. Head of Banks Supervision at the FSCA, Sindi Makhubalo, speaks to us about these developments. Thank you so much for your time, Sindi. Let's first unpack really the extent at which we are seeing financial crimes that are taking place online. What has the FSCA found?
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to engage. I must say that what we are seeing in terms of the scale of this digital fraud is so huge. I mean, if I'm talking just the numbers, in last year alone, our customers lost a good 2.7 billion. I mean, if you look at that and just think how many customers were impacted by that, it's massive. So that's really the scale of this digital fraud that we are looking at. And that's why, as the FSCA, we are really concerned in terms of the trend that we are seeing.
Having touched on the concern, what is the authority doing to make sure that there is at least a buffer and that consumers are safeguarded from this?
I think as a start in many things that we are looking at and doing as the FSCA, today we hosted a fraud roundtable where we brought together, some cross-sector stakeholders, because we believed that as we look at these issues that our customers are facing, there is a deeper need for collaboration across the industries. If we talk of digital fraud, we're seeing there's a banking industry involved, but there's also the telecoms industry that is involved. So we had that conversations today, which was really a dialogue that was aimed at putting up a collaborative space that was aimed at sharing insights, but also for us to explore deeper, the fraud landscape and also look at some of these emerging threats and what we can do. So I think the step that we took as the FSA is a massive one, and that is of bringing together all the stakeholders in the fraud ecosystem and really sit together and deliberate as to what we can do as a collective to find a South African solution.
So looking at the current trends, who in the South African public then is most vulnerable?
Definitely the customer is most vulnerable. And I think there was a time when we thought that it's the elderly, age over 60. But we are realizing that it's across. So the fraudsters are hitting the young and the old and the middle, the educated and not educated, the digital literate and not digital literate. So it's hitting across everybody. And that is why we really have to change gears in terms of how we approach this and really go full force and very robust in terms of how we educate the customers that are impacted the most with this digital fraud.
Lastly, the feedback that you've had from banks around this and tightening their screws to ensure that consumers are protected.
I think it came out very clear today that the banks definitely agree as a collective as well that this is not a competitive advantage, and therefore there is a need for them to really go deeper in terms of what they can do to enhance their controls internally, to make sure that they put the safeguards and many layers to protect the customers. But also the banks also agree that they can't solve this issue alone. They need to engage with other stakeholders. They need to work together with the regulatory community. They need to work together with the telcos, and they need to work together with the customers and the public to make sure that the messages are sent across and everybody understands the impact and what they have to do to really protect themselves against this pandemic, if I can call it like that, of this digital fraud.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Head of Banks Supervision at the FSCA, Sindi Makhubalo, talking to us this afternoon.